Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about one of Battlefield's former leads, Marcus Lehto, absolutely slamming EA in a recent tweet. And we're going to be going over a lot of details about Season 7 that I actually missed in previous videos. So there's actually going to be a lot of new content in this video. If you enjoy the channel, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders, and I will be streaming Season 7 when it comes out on the 19th. So be sure to turn notifications on to know when I go live on Twitch, and turn them on YouTube as well to know when I post videos. So, Marcus Lehto tweeted, quote, "Not been saying much here since I don't have anything positive to say about EA. My recent departure and how so many, including my team, are suffering due to the industry-sweeping layoffs," end quote. To me, this statement from Marcus Lehto is so telling and confirms what I personally thought about his relationship with him and EA. When one of your former leads tweets that they don't have anything positive to say about working with you and about your company, I mean, the only reaction you could possibly have is holy shit. If I had to guess, when Marcus Lehto started working on the single player for the next Battlefield, he went into it just giving it his best shot, trying his best. But the fact of the matter is, EA is probably unbelievably annoying to work with. They have insanely massive egos and are probably not giving him what he wants. And to make matters even worse, Marcus Lehto didn't even know that after he left EA, that EA would shut down his studio. I assume that he probably just assumed that they would replace him, not shut the entire studio down. So he's clearly not happy with EA at all. I don't think he was happy even while he was working at EA. And once again, this just doesn't bode well for the release of the next Battlefield game, and it is more of the same. Moving on to some further information about Battlefield 2042 Season 7, which is, as of this video, coming out tomorrow. So I'll be having a first impressions video out, and of course I'll be testing the visual recoil changes extensively. I certainly hope the visual recoil changes are better than I think they will be. Now, according to Battlefield Bulletin, the update that contains the Stadium map, the new LMG, and the new vehicle for Season 7 will be coming out in May of 2024. So, I mean, we're just going to have to wait a few months for this, guys. It sucks. I knew they were going to do this. I called it before they even confirmed they were drip-feeding content to us. It's typical DICE. What do you want me to say? Moving on to an overhead view of the new Season 7 map, Haven. I'll put up a screenshot on the screen so you guys can see it. This looks to me like an extremely small urban combat map that may or may not play well, and I'll explain why. While I completely understand that people want an urban combat map with a bunch of buildings and streets and all that sort of thing, I don't think Battlefield 2042 plays well in that sort of scenario. And this is for multiple different reasons, the most obvious being Battlefield 2042 feels really bad to play. In fact, it is still, by a mile, one of the worst feeling games I have ever played in my entire life, specifically in close quarter combat, which is what Haven will be full of. Why does the game feel super bad, specifically in close quarter combat? Well, that's because the mouse and controller input are still bugged over 2 years after Battlefield 2042's release. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, your aim that you're trying to do is not accurately represented in Battlefield 2042. It's bugged and feels like ass. And to further compound this problem, the movement of Battlefield 2042 is the mushiest and most imprecise movement system I have ever felt in a Battlefield game. You cannot be accurate with your peaks. You cannot be accurate with your pre-aims because the movement feels bad and the aim feels bad. And urban combat maps such as this heavily emphasize close quarter gameplay, and Battlefield 2042, from a feel and mechanics perspective, is simply not up to snuff, which is why maps like Spearhead are so loved by the community. Spearhead is a great map, in my opinion, for Battlefield 2042 because it plays to the strengths of how 2042 actually plays. Spearhead is, I would say, a mostly mid-range map where you fight on hills. And I don't know what it is about 2042, but that is, in my experience, the most optimal way to actually play 2042. When you start getting into the extreme close quarters, even in Redacted, the game just feels so bad. But what has the potential to feel even worse than redacted is concentrated building fighting in Battlefield 2042. When there are 100 windows, 100 different rooftops, 100 different balconies, 3 separate floors to every single building, things you can prone behind in the street. There are going to be people ratting in these buildings 24/7 that will just shoot you from a completely random angle that you have absolutely no chance of guessing. So, while I haven't played Haven yet, I have played Erica Harbor, and make no mistake, the buildings in Haven are the buildings from Erica Harbor, and Erica Harbor in the city portion plays unbelievably campy, okay? It's not going to be any different on Haven, in my opinion. Moving on from how I think Haven is going to play, DICE has actually made a pretty intelligent decision here, and they should spread this intelligent decision onto every single map in the entire game. For the first time in Battlefield 2042, DICE put automatic CRAMs in the bases of Haven, okay? This is how previous Battlefield games were. You guys remember Battlefield 4, when the attack jet tried to fly in over your spawn and spawn kill the tank that just spawned? Well, guess what? The automatic CRAM shot at the attack jet, which made his push pretty much impossible. This is how all maps should be, okay? All maps should have CRAMs in their bases, especially if there are air vehicles, and I just don't see why DICE didn't do this earlier. Now, I will end this video with a couple of Season 7 predictions, just for funsies, just to see if I'm correct or if I'm wrong or not. I predict that Haven will not play as well as some people are hoping it will play. I predict that the AK-5C will be a pretty mid-tier assault rifle. I predict that the new SMG will be the new disgustingly overpowered weapon that DICE puts in the Battle Pass because, of course, they can't resist doing that. I predict that the visual recoil changes that are happening in Season 7 will somehow, some way, bug something to do with the gunplay. If I had to make a guess as to what they're going to somehow bug with the visual recoil changes, I'm going to say they're going to bug some of the sights in the game. They're not going to look good, or maybe some of them will be off-center. I'm going to say they might rebug the recoil bug into the game, which would be a total DICE moment. And they might mess with or bug the sights interaction with the screen center and the point of aim and all that sort of stuff. They're going to mess something up. Like, I'm almost 90% certain. But of course, maybe they won't, and I will be testing whether or not they did actually mess anything up with the visual recoil changes. That'll be probably the second video I put out, maybe the third video that I put out after Season 7 releases. So, if you enjoy the content, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your Season 7 predictions in the comment section. Also, let me know what you ate while you watched this video, because yes, I know you're eating, okay? I am literally behind you as you are eating right now.